Hello everyone and welcome to a GameDev review. This GameDev review is for the game called Satellite Repairman. So we're gonna follow a new format in this GameDev review and trying to establish it. And so this new format will go from starting. We'll talk about the gameplay. Then we're gonna move on to the UI, which is the user interface. Then we're gonna talk about the music of the game and the settings available. Then we're going to talk about the game feel and the attention to detail in the game. And finally, we're going to talk about we're going to give the game an overall review. And this overall review could be sloppy, you can do better, a little more juice, and good job. So, there's self-explanatory. The lowest one is sloppy, which means the developer overlook a few things that were too obvious that we think, or I think, that could be improved upon just by doing small stuff. Then we have you can do better, which means the developers did a great job, but they can improve on their base they have, add some sort of game mode. For example, it's a large change that I suggest to improve a game in a positive way. I'm trying to encourage people to make better games, better experiences. And so we have then a little more juice is just giving one more step toward perfection, let's say that. And then we have good job dev, which is the game is in a great state right now. It could be, of course, everything can be improved upon, but I feel that the game just needs minor updates. Everything could be improved upon. So let's get it on. Let's try this. To start, we're gonna talk about gameplay. So in gameplay, let's just go ahead. I mean, you can see the UI right now. Let's go to play. I'm gonna go to mission scenarios, I guess, and you can see that I already played a few of these levels. I'm not gonna do a blind review for this because this is a well-established game that is on Steam and has a number of sales. But actually, I think I'm going to go to sandbox game. You can choose your planet, which is Earth, Moon, or Mars. You can choose a warm-up time where you cannot get attacked. Then you can choose a mode of attack. You'll see, you'll understand this in a second. So I want to start from scratch, and I want it to be normal. I'm actually going to do a warm-up time, 1 minute, so I can talk about the game while I'm warming up. So it's loading, and then it shows us the base screen. What we have is very interesting. We have a planet, and in this planet we have several bases, which is a construction yard, we have a communication tower, we have headquarters, and we have a farm that lets us eat food. So the gameplay consists in you going to you can fly, but you have a jetpack, so you can fly and you can go to the factory, a construction yard, and you can create a factory. You can create missile defenses and communication towers. You can see we have the queue over here, which shows us what's after the factory. So you wait until it's done. You just grab it, place it, and there you go. You have a factory. And here you create satellites and modules. I'm not gonna explain everything about the game because it's more complicated than it looks, but you can see on the top right that I have 4 housing and 4 satellites, and these satellites are in place already. You can dock onto them and hold onto them. So what these satellites do is they detect, I'm gonna heal it, they detect incoming missiles, incoming threats to your base, to your home planet. So your job is to maintain them. That's why the game is called Satellite Repairman. Because I had never seen this egg, but it's called, they're Easter eggs. 321 290. Okay, let's I'm gonna follow the Easter egg and see what goes on. 290. You're of course what was the number? It's harder to take off in each planet. Each one has a specific gravity. So it's 3021. Each planet has a specific gravity, and each planet has specific threats. 3021 to 90. So this one has like higher gravity. It's kind of harder to take off. Should be around here. I don't know. So yeah, the gameplay consists. Is there egg tip 2? There's more tips. 6676. The gameplay consists on you flying and trying to avoid your planet going, you know, getting blown up to smithereens. And by your planet, I mean your people. You don't really care about, you know, the planet itself. What matters is mankind, what lives in the planet. So your job is to set bases, and this is done pretty nicely, honestly. You just set bases. You set communication towers. So on the top right you can see there's a GPS and a little communications symbol, and you just go around setting bases, eating and repairing. Like this one, you see its health is down. So let's go ahead and summarize the gameplay. You fly, you set out bases, you set out satellites, and you repair things so you don't get destroyed. You have a number of housing developments, and you cannot let these guys, there's 4 of them, or your headquarters die. If either of those dies, then your base is doomed, and you of course are doomed. Your job is failed. So that's gameplay. And yeah, there's a lot of depth to this. Like you have to learn a lot of things, you have to just read a lot of stuff, you have to research a lot of stuff, and you have to know where to place your missile systems, you have to know where to place your communication towers. It's really I'm gonna show you, really complicated. But you know, it's not a mobile game, it's a PC game, so it's supposed to have a level of depth. You can see here, well, I have to move somewhere where I have signal so you guys can see this. There you go, I now have signal. You can see the 4. I'm gonna turn this on. This is the communications, this is my GPS area, this is my detection radius for the rockets. And so you get attacked from the space by missiles, you get attacked from outer space by many things, and your job is to just, you know, not let them kill everyone. And so the gameplay is simple. It's deceptively complicated. It's more complicated than it looks by far. So yeah, that's gameplay. So let's move on to UI. So in UI, as you can see, we have a lot of stuff to go on. We have on the top left, we have a little heart, which is our food meter. Then we have our jetpack meter, which gets recharged at headquarters. Then we have our altitude meter and the angle meter. So the altitude, I guess it's not a meter. The altitude detector, the altitude signal thing, it gives out, it shows us what our real altitude is at that point. But if you go too high, as you could see before when I was showing gameplay, if I went too high, I could not see my altitude anymore, or my angle in the planet anymore. Why? Well, this is because you don't have communications anymore. You see how I'm recharging by pressing Q. So we have on the right, we have the communications, we have several data points, we have the time on top, we have all these data points. And also, anytime you go close to something, can you hear that sound? That's a rocket being shot, being fired to defend me, which that was cool. I had never seen that actually. I'm gonna eat some of this. In the bottom we have the UI for the inventory, so you can grab anything on your inventory and just eat it or place it, you press the button, and then you hit E in my case, and you drop whatever it is. It can be a satellite, it can be anything. But again, there's text. Anytime you go close to anything, you get text. So there's a lot of reading. There's notifications. Look at this. You can see the visual language here, how they show you that the thing is broken, so you know from afar. But again, there's a lot of text. So pause menu. Pause menu shows us the map, the controls, Repairpedia, which is more information. There's a lot of information to go through. The credits. There's like 3 guys made this whole game, which is impressive. We have the settings, but we're gonna talk about that a little more in a second. We have the controls. We can change them to whatever we want. And again, we have the map, which shows us a lot of good information about what we have on our planet, what we have around our planet. You can turn it all on, turn it all off. But one complaint about this is that there's no minimap. Like, I have to actually go here and break gameplay just check this out. And I guess it makes sense in a way, but you know, this is a PC game. You have all this free space on this side, on this side. I guess you probably didn't want to overload, because whenever I go here, you get more on the UI. But even then, I feel like we're lacking a minimap. But why? See what happened. Something just crashed right near me. I was barely able to see it because I was really close. But if I had a minimap or a little camera that showed me that action, that would improve upon the experience a lot. So let's go to music and settings. Music and settings. The music is really calm. It's on loop. It's always that tune you can hear in the background. I'm gonna shut up for a second. It's that tune over and over again. So we need a little more variety, a little more action music. I don't think I've heard any other music. It's been 10 minutes and we're still hearing the same music. The settings. Let's go to settings. We have music volume control. We have screen shake, HUD sounds, and language. There's 3 languages: Russian, Portuguese, and English, which is amazing. And then default, you know, of course, the usual. Do you want full screen? Settings are good. I mean, this is the least you expect in this kind of game. You expect to be able to control your music and your sounds and everything else. And of course, you can change your controls as I showed before. So let's say that's part of the settings. The settings are good. I think this is good. This is not just the bare minimum, it's just going a little farther, which is good. Let's go with game feel and attention to detail. So as you can see, whenever I float, I get this trail. Whenever I get close to anything, it just talks. There's a little fire effect, which means, you know, this thing is on fire. This thing it's damaged. We also have the text that comes out immediately. It feels like the game's paying attention to what I'm doing. Also, you get notifications when someone is on fire. Just go, oh, it's on fire, please help. Everything has a sound. Whenever you eat something, the guy says, oh, that tastes good. Oh, I'm repairing this. Where did I leave my duct tape? And stuff like that. I wish I could find. There you go. I'm gonna repair. You hear the little wrenching sound. You hear rockets when they're approaching. Your screen shakes noticeably when something strikes on the earth, or I mean whatever planet you're in, and it's quite good. I like the attention to detail in this game. Again, I would suggest to implement a little mini map or a mini camera that shows you where something, oh, you know, you missed a rocket, it's gonna fall straight into your headquarters and end the game. I can just be sitting here and that happens, and I just find out because it said, oh, your game ended. I'm like, oh, why, you know? So showing you that could be interesting, showing you when something gets hit, not just telling you in a notification. That will improve upon the game feel, and it will probably add points on your attention to detail. But this video has been going on for too long now, 12 minutes. I'm gonna give you my summarized verdict on your game. So my overall review is, I think you just need a little more juice, because what you set out to do, you did, but you need just a little more detail, a little more information for your player. Ignore my dog. A little more information for your player. I'm sorry about that. And yeah, honestly, it's a good game. I played it for a few hours. Would I recommend it to people? Yeah. This game is worth, the work that it was putting, that the creators put into it. And so, just a little more juice, a little more work, and I would think this game would deserve a good job. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing your game with me, and I hope you like your review. I hope everyone tries your game, and I hope you make more games and show them to me, because I love playing indie games. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.